Keegan, you are bleeding out from your side. That's how we start this. You are bleeding out from your side, and you hear and feel things around you that are moving, but can't quite comprehend any of them. You feel Jaz near you and take your weapon, your knife, away. And then you feel yourself being lifted up into the air, a knife pulled out of your side, and suddenly moving fast to somewhere, almost like you're gliding, but you feel hands around you of somebody trying to get you out of this building where you can now smell smoke and blood and bleed, and your eyes are fried and dry and almost feel like they're disintegrating in their sockets. And then everything goes black. The second time in 3 days, everything goes black for you. And then you see almost like a film projector sliding, one frame of your compatriots down in the vaults of the fourth Ferris and a door exploding. Another frame of Jaz being scorched by fire as the chapter house burns above you. Another frame of Youngest out of the bleed container and limbs and body parts everywhere, and Artemis slowly disintegrating. Another frame, Cole turning into a man out of nowhere after Artemis half disintegrates and dies in front of you. Another frame, the group passing through a curtain of light. And then the final frame that you now find yourself standing in, of a freeze frame of carnage. You see Anna Ballantyne going toe-to-toe with Mason in a fistfight with long grey claws. You see Silas shooting a lightning bolt out of his hand towards her. You see Kim being smashed onto the side of the cave and collapsing to the ground unconscious. And you see Jaz fighting your mother, who is currently trying to tug a painting that is glowing away from her, as this almost looks like that oil painting effect in Youngest Domain that is now in front of you of this happening. Silence. And then you hear words of the conversation that were just had. You hear, Patrick. I'm so excited to see my son Patrick and not the imposter that sits in his skin. Jaz yelling and throwing a knife at Anna Ballantyne and your mother, trying to hit the painting, and that not succeeding and being snatched out of the air. It's so nice for you three brothers to see each other again. There was only one body available. It looks like the soul of our family won out over the inferior Patrick. As she smiles. And then you realize Patrick is stood next to you, witnessing all of this with you as you feel tired. And like the life is leaving from you and the lethargy of being stood here, and you realize, oh, I'm bleeding to death. What do you do in this freeze frame after absorbing all of the information about who you really are and what is happening to your friends right now?
I guess I think the first thing that Keegan, like he's taking all this information and he's he's seen enough of this weird stuff with Candela at this point to kind of be like, no, that's pretty normal. And then it gets to the three brothers and like his place in that triad, and the mention of like his soul, his something being in his body, but it's not Patrick and it's not human. That is kind of a moment where like everything else goes a little muffled, because now he's like, wait, because everything, there's been, I won't say a logic to all of the magical stuff that we've been dealing with, but it is also weirdly like a form of magic that he can understand or like rationalize. But the idea of his soul being inhuman kind of like shuts him down for a second as I shake my head and look at Patrick.
Patrick, you can see, is about 5 seconds behind you, processing everything that he just saw at the same time. And you see him get there, take 1 step away from you to the side, because he stood to your left. Well, fuck.
So, this is your body?
Not anymore.
Right, but
Or it
that's...
never was, and I just lost the race. Maybe.
Well, I don't want to feel like we were fighting over this.
I don't think there was any competition. And you see he's stood there and he is of a regular color to you. As if you are in youngest domain again, as bleed here you feel is amplified as you are next to a spiritual gate. And you see a regular looking Patrick stood next to you, still with one eye green and one eye brown. The eye patch now gone, as it was torn off of you when you got blasted backwards in the ballroom.
I'm like them. I'm in between. I don't understand. I don't...
Brother, if you don't understand, I ain't got a hope. So...
And in this freeze frame, it's like there's the fist fight happening. Jazz and my mother are fighting over a painting still.
It's almost like they're... You can see by the way Jazz is gripping the painting, it's like a tug of war. Jazz is trying to rip the painting away from your mother, who is currently painting her own blood that splattered onto the canvas into the painting.
And Silas and Victor and Dr. Kim, it's just kind of a melee hodgepodge. I think, well, if he wasn't already upset, well, this isn't fair. I should be there. I should be there with them. We should be there. We should... like looking at my mother.
I don't think anything's very fair anymore.
So if my soul came from that, pointing at Ma, is me being here like not helping?
And the room starts to shake, and you see a final change in the film, as now the room is almost empty. Rocks are starting to fall from the ceiling, and the mouth of Spikes is screaming at the back of the cave. And you see the dead bodies of Kim and Mason nearby.
No.
And the others are nowhere to be seen.
They're dead.
Oh.
They're dead.
Are we dead? Am I alive? I don't know. Am I alive?
You've made it clear you're not a ghost. So you can't be dead because you were never alive. But I'm at a loss. Just if the maw is screaming, did we lose?
Patrick looks around, goes around the sarcophagus near where you're stood, looks at Mason, looks at Kim, and then moves some rubble aside to see the body of your mother also there. A charred hole cut through her middle, which you're smart enough to realize, based on the previous scene, is due to a lightning bolt.
I don't know how to feel about that one. She hated me. She hated us.
By hating you, she hated me, I think. That's how I'm going to interpret it. Because we are born of the same, but different. I just didn't get to the parking spot in time.
Well, you don't... I didn't know that was...
It's not your... I know it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault.
Who are you trying to convince, Pat?
Ugh. What would I have done if I had the body instead of you? We'll never know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Except it does, because it's not fair.
It's not fair.
Why do you get to walk around and make friends instead of me, who's stuck here, only being able to talk to you and now the great conversationalist Victor Ballantyne, of all people? And Jaz if she opens a fucking magic book. What's the point?
Well, I don't know, Pat. No, it's not fair. You were you were supposed to have this body, and then something else jumped into it before you could, and now you're just floating around following me. And I've lived an entire life. We've lived an entire life together, and now we're finding out that I stole your life. Is that what we're gonna? Is that how we're gonna think about this? I I don't want to think about it like that, but that's not how guilt is. Maybe that's what I'm feeling.
I know it's not you, but I still feel angry about it. So I'm gonna just be mad about it. But I'm still stuck here making everyone else miserable because I can't go anywhere or do anything, and I'm just gonna be stuck with my brother for eternity as a weird couple going around so you can't do things and I can't do things, and I'm a bit tired.
Is the maw still open in this scene?
The maw glows a familiar green glow. And you see the outline of a woman, tall woman, can't make out her features. She sort of stood in front of the light, so the light blinds you to what she looks like. Seems to be looking back at you as you see her guide someone through the gate in a golden glow. And Patrick looks at you and goes, I feel I could go. If you wanted me to go.
Why would you go? I'm the one that took your body.
You have a body. I'm a spectre.
Well, what if we swap? Well, I don't know if that's a thing we can do, but if I mean, I've had enough of a life. If you want, if you're this upset by it,
I'm upset at the situation. I love you.
I love you. I don't.
I mean, you want to ask Jazz out, right? If we don't die. That's the plan, right?
I mean, yes, no, I don't. Why is that important right now?
You can't just be body swapping with me if you want to have friends and be in a relationship. That's weird.
But
Unless she's into it, and then it's fine, but I don't think she would be. Because it's still you, but it's not you, it's me, and that's weird. And also the body's been used. I don't know if I want a second-hand one. I think I'd want, like, my own one.
A second-hand?
You've been living in it for 29 years. It's all weird now. It's all, like, molded around you and stuff. It's like, technically I could have it. It's like if someone washes underwear and says, hey, wear this, like, you technically can, but you're not gonna, because that's weird, isn't it?
So you're saying you're just gonna go? What?
I feel like I could. I don't think there's anything bad on through. The mouth is scary, but I don't know. It doesn't look bad through there.
But you're not from there.
I think eventually, and Pat sort of looks like he's listening or absorbing some sort of information. He goes, I think beyond there isn't just for creatures. I think it's a gate to somewhere else, maybe. You can roll a sense if you'd like.
A sense?
Yes, a sense.
Sure. Oh. The lower one is a 4.
Okay. Patrick is not as good at you at spotting details. He's, some would say, not as smart as you, intellectually. But Patrick has always been the one that maybe has slightly more common sense and the ability to sense the paranormal, aside from you being able to see him, obviously. He looks, and you see a look in his face of longing, and you sense if you gave him permission, he might want to leave for whatever other life there could be for a wayward soul such as his. But you know that he will not leave unless you let him go. He sort of looks and goes, well, I could stay. I don't have to go. I think, and he starts like moving, goes, I think we're being, and you feel a stabbing pain in your side, and you realize you're being stitched. Wherever your body is, you're being stitched up right now.
Patrick, do you want to leave to give me peace, or what you think is peace, or do you want to leave to find your own?
I want to leave because I want to know what's behind the big glowing door. And also probably to give you some space, but I want to go through the big glowing door, brother.
You want to go through the door? Okay.
But I'm here to help. I'll stay, because I'm mad at you, but I'm sure it'll pass, and it'll be fine, and we can solve mysteries and things like we do, and it'll be grand.
I'm going to hug him.
You lean towards him. You fully make contact with Patrick. This is the first time you've ever hugged your brother since he first appeared on that day where you were 7 years old, about to leave school with your uncle. And even he looks along, he's like, oh. And he turns around and bear hugs you. So if you were corporeal in this moment, you might suffocate a little.
I love you, Patrick.
I love you too, Keegan.
You're my best friend.
Of course you're my best friend. Too. I want to go. I don't want to go, but I want to go.
You kind of want to go.
I really want to go. I want to go solve a mystery that I can actually solve that's over there, and then maybe I can get Victor to like do his thing and I can send a message or something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, maybe the next time we see each other you can tell me about it.
Hopefully that won't be in the way you mean, I think, maybe for a very long time. But, of course, I want to see you. But you gotta do one thing. And he goes like really dramatic. You gotta do one thing for a dying man, Keegan.
What?
Ask Jaz on a fucking date.
Oh.
She fucking loves you.
Oh.
It's so obvious, please.
Fuck off.
Fine, I will. And he starts walking towards the thing. But he lingers in the hug before he starts going, and he goes, watching you.
Yeah? You've watched me all the time, all my life. Go solve a mystery.
Bro, I'm going to solve the best mysteries. I'm going to have the best time. You're going to be so jealous. And he starts walking towards the door and he goes, oh, and say bye to Locke for me. And tell him I love him too, obviously. But if I get emotional again, I won't make it through this gate. And he sort of just runs towards the gate and he goes, I love you!
Bye, Pat.
Bye! And he disappears into sort of a golden green light as the door slaps shut. And everything goes black again. For the third time in 3 days, as Patrick finds his own adventure and mystery somewhere. Can you just roll a really quick survey for me?
Okay. Um, 6.
Of course it is. How fun. As it goes black, the split second before it does, like a TV turning off where you get residual light, you see somebody. It's not somebody you recognize. They're wearing a fluffy cardigan, white shirt, silver chain around their neck, with dark, asymmetric hair, perfectly sort of combed, with a slight wave. Some jewelry, but you realize what they're wearing on their legs is like a fabric that you haven't seen. It's sort of like blue and faded, and shoes that look like they're made of foam. They look bouncy. And a watch on their hand with a brown leather strap. And they seem to notice you notice them. Very androgynous figure, and they go, "Not yet. Don't worry." And then everything goes black.
I saw beyond the fourth wall. No.
It wasn't me, just to put that out there. I am
okay.
merely embodying. I'm in a story! Ah! The mesa! It's right. Your eyes, bright fluorescent light, Keegan. So bright, as your eyes flicker away. Now, Jaz. You've been in the hospital after the events, as previously stated, with several injuries of your own. But you woke up before Keegan did. You've been visited. Silas dropped by he didn't say anything to make sure you were okay. Victor you haven't seen since the incident, but you assume he's somewhere with Youngest because you know he's alive. Locke has obviously visited with copious amounts of... He doesn't really know what to buy you because he doesn't want it to seem weird. So, like, he got you flowers and grapes and chocolates, but then a teddy bear, but then also, like, some knives because he was like, she needs to defend herself, and then, like, a really cool new set of binoculars. He didn't know what to buy, so he bought everything. Would you have visited Keegan while he's been asleep? And are you there when he wakes up?
I believe the answer is obviously an unabashedly yes to the former of those two questions. But I'm also adjusting to some new injuries, to a twitch of the eye, and to the lack of my investigation aid. So around the time the doctor seemed to think he's going to wake up, I'm actually not there at that moment.
You're not there. As Keegan, you wake up, and your eyes hurt. Your eyes burn. They feel, I can't think of a better word other than crusty. And if you go to touch them, you realize you have deep, thin but deep scarring around your eyes. Think Mads Mikkelsen in the first Doctor Strange film, but lesser than that. But that's the effect. Like a spider's web. Almost like you've got eyeliner, but painful looking going around your eyes now.
Oh.
And you realize, oh, the beard's growing in a bit more. I'm a bit fluffy. You've been here for a little while as you wake up, but you can see. And you can move.
Nobody's in the room.
You look to your left. Lachlan Locke is fully asleep dad style in the most uncomfortable looking chair in the world. And you realize it's either early in the morning or late at night. You're not sure which one.
Uncle.
You're awake. Oh, thank God. Goes to hug you. knocks you
Oh.
aside, where there's now gonna be a nice big scar down your side. He goes, "Oh, lad, I'm so sorry. Oh, you're okay." Mwah, 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 and starts just like mwah, 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 kissing you all over like your face and your forehead, just like, "Oh, thank God. Oh, oh,
Water.
sorry, I dozed off.
Water.
Water, yes, ha, hands you a jug, starts filling it up, and like tries to tip it down your throat, but kind of fails, and then it goes over. He's like, nope, I got it, and then he's like, do you just want to take this? Do you want to take this yourself?
I can hold it. I can hold it.
Okay, gives it to you. It's difficult, but you can do it.
After quenching my thirst, I will. Where are we?
Hospital. It's been about a week since I brought you.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Where's Jaz?
Oh, she's in the room, like 3 rooms down the hall. I think she's asleep though. She tried to drink more coffee, but she fell asleep. I made her go to not as in I made her go to sleep. I made her drink water, and then after about 30 minutes, she fell asleep because she didn't have caffeine.
And what about Victor and Silas?
They're somewhere. Victor and Silas are somewhere. Silas dropped by. Haven't
He
seen
did?
him.
Oh, okay.
He dropped by. But I haven't seen him since. I think he went home, and Victor and youngest, they are somewhere, and
Are
Cole
they-
won't tell me. Oh, Cole's a person. He was a bird and now he's a person. Isn't that wild?
Oh, what? No, you know what? I'm just gonna accept that.
Oh, where's Pat? Where is he? Where is he?
Uncle. He's he left.
What do you mean he left?
There was while I was out, I think we brushed up against the other side, and Pat, some of the stuff we found out, we had a dream, a vision, and Pat was the soul that was supposed to be in this body. And I have a soul that isn't human.
Puts his hands like this.
It's a lot more complicated than Cole turning into a man.
Well, bugger me. I'm gonna have to you know? I'm happy you're okay. I'm gonna have to think on that one.
And
Not that you've got a soul that's weird. We all knew that already. That's fine. But
I'm gonna like reach up and kind of like grab his steepled hands a little bit and pull them away from his face so he's not in thinking mode. Pat wants to remind you that he loves you very much, and he's off to solve a mystery on his own. And he'll see us when he sees us.
Yes. That's very kind of him, and obviously it won't be for a long time because our bloodline is a strong one, so we'll basically never die, and
yeah, I guess not. But he's he's gone his own way, and I've got one of his eyeballs to remember him by.
You see he's about to sort of like start crying, and then that sets him back, and he's like, what? Oh my god, your eyes! What? And he notices that your eyes are...
Yeah, did you not notice that?
They've been closed!
Oh.
And I'm tired. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, we've swapped one eyeball each, and my eyes feel like they're on fire.
Oh, yes, the doctor said that don't use them too much. We gotta put the bandages back on, because they're fucked up. I don't know the medical term, but they're really fucked up. So, if you want to be able to see, just don't look into lights too much. But, yes.
Sure.
Shall I... do you want to sleep? Are you hungry?
I've been asleep for a week.
Yes.
I wouldn't call it sleep, but I'd like to... I'm gonna try to like get out of bed.
Oh man, you're gonna have to roll a move or something for that, boy, because you've been asleep for a week. And I'm gonna -1 dice from the amount you roll because, you haven't moved for a week.
What if I already have 0?
Oh, I'll just roll with disadvantage then, it's okay.
Okay. 1.
Oh, it's...
That's probably around the time that I'm like edging down the hall and I get to the door.
I think Lachlan's like bombastic tone has probably woken up half of the floor of this hospital, and you see the nurses start to like activate as you see the arm of Keegan as he tries to get out of bed fully again biff it like when he fell over the pothole, and you just hear, ow.
Ow. Ow.
Well, good morning to you then. That's quite the wake-up call.
Good morning.
I gotta be honest, I have no idea.
This hospital needs more windows.
Time moves very strangely in this place, and that's coming from us.
And I'm holding my stitched up side.
Yeah, the nurse is like fully skewed, just like, sir, you need to please stay in bed. It's for your own good. You haven't moved for a while. We need to check. You're okay. Now you're awake, please. And like kind of half escort you, half just kind of lift you back to bed.
I'm just like trying my best, but I feel like dead weight, and
Cool. There you go. Tuck you back in.
And for the record, when you see me, you'll notice like many days old bruising around like my forehead, my left eye, my right cheek, but more importantly, trying to stay out of the way of the nurses with a big smirk on my face as they help you to get up and move back to your bed. Arms are crossed, but you're still able to see that probably from about 2 inches down my wrist on both hands and fully covering the hands themselves. It's difficult to say whether they're burns, scars, or just some other universal patterning on my hands that's brand new, and it looks as though like literal paint has been burnt over the surfaces of the skin of my hands, and like a wash of color. And you'll of course find out later that from literal head to hands, my injuries have everything to do with your mother, but for now you just see I'm upright, but I am battered.
Hi, Jaz. I'm not supposed to open my eyes very much right now, but I'm trying to look at you.
Are his sunglasses anywhere nearby?
His sunglasses are nowhere to be found because they got destroyed in the ballroom when he was blasted backwards.
I think I'm just about well enough. I might be able to take off and do something about that. Probably not today. Nurses are a bit buggery about this whole mess.
We heard that. Go back to bed, Miss Keebler.
I am perfectly ambulatory, as you can see. Let me go home.
Jaz, you feel now you've stood up and gotten here and that's happened, you're like, oh, I do feel a bit bad, actually. I should probably go back to bed. But you're going to power through and that's okay.
the Jazz way.
Nothing a bit of coffee can't fix.
Okay, you heard it from him. That's 2 of us now who are under the opinion that I'll be feeling much better if I could just have a cup.
Well,
Just 1 cup.
I meant for you. I don't know if I should be drinking coffee right now.
No, bring us both one. Let me have yours.
You're gonna have to roll this away.
Okay. That is 1 die. 4.
Miss Keebler, we've told you need to stay hydrated to help with your injuries, but we can offer you a nice cup of tea at this time.
Tea and coffee are dramatically different, but both have one key ingredient you just stated that I might need, and that's water. Let me have some coffee.
Miss Keebler, if you're going to keep being agitated, we will need to take you back to bed and sedate you again so your injuries can heal properly.
Oh,
You
I'm
have
sorry.
floating rib fragments, you have a concussion, you have one eye that was almost partially blind that our surgeons managed to save, and your hands have some sort of condition that we are not familiar with but look like burns. Please, please, either go back to bed or rest calmly in this room.
I'll do the latter.
Okay.
But I want my coffee.
The nurse exits, shuts the door behind them.
Did she say they'd have to sedate you again?
I rest a lot better in my own home. They don't seem to understand that. Locke. And I turn to Locke, assuming he's still in the room.
Locke was at Keegan's bedside and has now fallen asleep, like when he was talking to Keegan on, like kneeling down on the floor on the bed, like, huh? What? Oh,
You
hello,
seem
love.
tired. Maybe you could do with a cup of coffee, and perhaps bring an extra cup back with you.
I'm not falling
You
for
don't have
that
to
one
laugh.
again. You did this the other day, and then you took it off of me when I fell asleep. You're not. It's not happening.
Thought we were friends.
Sometimes friends have to be enemies of their friends, or some.
So
I
I'm
think you
gonna.
forgot he left me a venerable pile of knives back in my room.
Oh,
The nurses aren't too happy about that, but they haven't taken them away just yet.
well, that's good. You can give me one. I heard you lost mine.
You know, I was wondering when that might come up. Afraid to say none of them are exactly service issue, but there are some passable numbers. You'd have your right pick of them. I don't tend to carry weapons.
I don't normally carry weapons, but when a creature menaces your friends, and Keegan, like, he engaged Mothman to save Dr. Kim, and it's like, so Dr. Kim and Mason.
I wasn't conscious for it, but that happened. It's a damn shame. The circle's a bit broken at present, I'm afraid to say as well.
Victor's gone? He's missing? Where'd he go?
Silas didn't really have much to say about him when he stopped by, and the boy hasn't come by himself. And as you can see, as she tries her hardest to not raise her voice in this moment, I haven't exactly been given free rein to move about or even to leave the place to find information. It's driving me nuts.
Well, I'm sure once we are ambulatory, we can go out and do our work in search of Victor, and maybe Silas will find us. We'll find him. I don't know.
All in good time. We have some affairs we may need to settle first off, just to ensure that Cole, I don't know, doesn't get arrested and has a roof over his head.
Why would he be arrested?
Oh, he has a basic understanding of humanoid society, but he's done so much as a crow for Lord knows how long. As soon as we understand that he's established, I think we can take care of some of our lost wolves.
I told you, Miss Keebler, was a raven, not a crow. And you see just
Jesus Christ.
Cole, who you know is Cole sitting in a doorway. Keegan, you see 6'4", dark shaggy hair, but now tied up sort of samurai style in a very relaxed dark grey suit and flip-flops. Edwardian equivalent of flip-flops because he doesn't like wearing shoes. And a messy dress undershirt with a silver chain. He goes, "Ah, Mr. Locke, it is good to see you are awake. Ah, yes, I am Cole. I am not a bird anymore." It's a lot. I know it's a lot, but I sensed you were waking up, and we'll talk another time. I just wanted to make sure you were okay when you woke up, and now I will leave. Miss Keebler, do not worry about me. Candela has a home for me, and I'm taking care of, well, as much as he will let me, Mr. Ballantyne in the basement of the Fourth Pharos, but he'd rather that be kept hush-hush for now.
Right.
So you're in touch with Mr. Ballantyne?
Very much, and also Youngest has also taken up residence with him. I will let you explain the rest of the details of what happened to Mr. Locke after everyone else has given me details for my report to the Council of Illumination, who I'm sure will be thrilled and will not at all want to pay us a visit in light of recent events. So, I bid you good night. Yes?
Sure. Keegan, once again, being like, wanting to say, well, I'm sure Artemis will figure it out, and then remembering the vision. I'm sure that you'll be a valuable, well, you already are valuable, Cole. It'll be fine. You've got this. I don't know. You were a bird the other day.
It is a change. And he sort of he keeps looking at you side on like a bird does with one eye because they can't quite focus both at the same time. Sorry. Yes. It is a change. And you hear in your head, Keegan, and I am sorry for your loss also. Jazz, you don't hear that. And Cole goes, but I will leave you to it and let you have some rest. I have tried to calm the nurses down. Please do not demand coffee again. They will sedate you. And, I am sorry about that. I have business, but I will catch up with you later.
These nurses are so serious.
They keep making it clear that we're not under arrest. We're not being detained. Why won't they let us go?
Well, I can't really walk right now, and your hands are
perfectly functional. And detective that you are, and beleaguered as I am, you can see that there's pain on my face with every movement of the fingers. Completely and perfectly fine. I want to go.
I would also like to go too, but I think we have to let them do their jobs so then we can do our jobs.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I have the energy for that kind of attitude, but I'm glad to see her up and doing well. Cole?
Oh, Cole's gone. You look round, Cole's gone. Gone.
For fuck's sake. I was gonna try to follow. I'm gonna come see you later, okay? It's good to see her up. Maybe stay in that bed of yours.
I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere.
We smash cut to 2 weeks later. They still wouldn't give you any coffee, Jazz, but you didn't need to be sedated. And luckily, both of you are healed enough that they will discharge you and let you recover at home under the condition that Lachlan supervises both of you, because he lives so close, as a former chief inspector of the OUP, that you don't do anything crazy.
Dad.
What?
I'm an adult. I don't need this kind of attention. I'm an adult.
My eyes better?
Your eyes are better. They still have some scarring, like sort of thread vein scars around them, and they still are two different colors. And you still see a little bit in bleeds. Everything's a little bit green if you close one eye and look out the green one. But you can see and you
Guardian
can
3D
move.
glasses. Mm-hmm.
And each of you have 3 scars? 2?
I have 2, unless I gained a body falling out of the bed.
No, you didn't. And
Ripping
Jaz has
open
3. So both of you are. You can move and you are mobile and you have cognitive function, but it will just be a little bit more difficult than it was before for both of you. To get around, to jump over things. Keegan, this will affect you, I think, more than Jaz because you are so used to hopping and fighting and Sherlocking your way through encounters and moving around in life.
I have removed anything from move at this point, and we are just the brain.
Just the brain. And unfortunately, you have to remove your special ability that you also had with Patrick.
That's true. I no longer have that.
But you take a car home. You are at home now. And it's going to be a long recovery to get fully back up to 100%. But it's so much nicer to be at home in your own bed than in hospital. Let's put it that way.
I think when it comes to telling Jaz about Patrick, which Keegan would like to do, it is not something he's going to just tell her. So if we're smash cutting to 2 weeks later, unless she asks, he won't bring up Patrick. Or if she tries to do her little thing where she tries to look at Patrick while they're talking, whenever that kind of first happens within this recovery period, no, I guess Sam, however you think Jaz would.
Not to slow the game down, but to suggest that even another week goes by. There's minimal interaction despite doctor's orders with Jaz, Keegan, and Locke because, in a similar fashion, while Jaz visited as much as was reasonable in the hospital when she wasn't clearly trying to find a way to the coffee cart, nurse's lounge, etc., she feels like an immense weight off her shoulders seeing Keegan return home. And unfortunately, that brought in space for her to realize that she took an indirect hand in the death of Keegan's mother. And so that like full first week back of like seeing you get upstairs, getting a reassuring word from Locke that he'll be by soon. Jaz actually like hides away back on the balcony, like pretends not to be home when like the door comes a knocking, and it's like a full week later that finally she would come around and begin to interact with you, be under the assumption that she was avoiding all 3 of you because clearly Patrick is still there. And if we wanted to jump in with it, just say, I suppose I didn't understand just how fatigued I was back at hospital until I got home. I'm not gonna lie, having some coffee has helped me to relax just a little bit more now that I'm back in my personal space, but I do apologize for staying away these last days. Now that I'm back in familiar surroundings, a little bit harder to be dealing with some of the events from a few weeks back.
Well, if you need the time to recover by yourself, you need that. But we're obviously across the street. So,
I assume your brother has been keeping an eye on me the times I have been looking over here.
Jaz. Patrick, he's not here.
I suppose it's not exactly a first, but
I mean, he's not here and he's not coming back.
oh. And she sort of like isn't the most emotionally healthy person and doesn't want to look you in the eyes at first at that, and sort of like looks to the corner, looks at the floor, and Jazz has had her hands sort of stuffed in her pockets ever since she's come by to visit with you. But she awkwardly sort of like looks in your direction and like hands out of the pockets. She like comes and just gives you like a big hug.
um, you can feel there's like there's a tension that appears and then kind of disappears because he was not ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will hug you back, and we'll just like, wow. He's like I told my uncle, he's run off to solve his own mystery in a place that we can't really go yet.
I I mean, I suppose for better or worse, it's gonna be a long time until you know what comes of him, I suppose. We still don't really understand a whole lot of what's going on the other side, and might never, depending on the means by which we meet our own ends. But I I do hope that eventually you feel some peace in this. If you don't feel it presently, that's that's tough. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's been some weird mornings and days, and when you spend so long, so much of your life, the majority of your life, pretty much your entire life, in the company of one person, not waking up and finding that they're not there is hard.
Like, I assume we had pulled back and we're talking to each other, but I just go for another hug again. Mm-hmm. I I've done most of my own life, and I'm saying this like into your chest. Um, I've spent most of my own life alone, so I don't really know how to console you to say that that must be so tough, and I'm sorry, but. She just doesn't say anything further. um, she's contemplating, for the sake of the audience and the players with me, she's contemplating the notion that although she's probably lost some events and memories from before she passed out, back below the sanatorium, she absolutely remembers the notion that Keegan is like not a soul. Keegan is a spiritual affect without soul, and what are the ramifications of the soul that was always with him no longer being present? Is he going to begin changing over time? Is he eventually going to fade away despite his like recovery? And the reporter need to investigate of it all means that whilst still hugging closely to Keegan, her eyes are wide open as she's sort of like tracking the notes of all these things going through her mind. But as far as Keegan is concerned, because this is true as well, she just doesn't know what to say and is seeking to provide comfort, at least at this moment, by way of a hug.
Jazz, what's your highest stat?
I believe it is study, but let me take a quick look. It is, oh, I apologize, read, not study. But no, it's survey, which is what I probably thought I meant. Yay, Candela.
Roll a read, but with the amount of dice that you would have with survey.
I got a 6.
As you feel Keegan settle into the hug, and then as an overthinker, your brain starts going, hang on. What if Keegan has a soul, but it's monstrous? What if Keegan is a monster of some sort and this could change him and he's not the person I knew anymore? And as you settle into the hug, Keegan's been Keegan for his whole life. You remember Keegan didn't even meet Patrick until he was 7 years old. Keegan is kind, sensitive, even though he wouldn't admit it, smart, empathetic. For all of that to do a 180, just because a part of him that was never fully inside him and connected to him in the first place is now gone on its own pathway, seems illogical to you. And as you hug Keegan, there is nothing but warmth and comfort in this hug. There is nothing sinister here. Even though you know that Keegan isn't what we would call fully human, but also one of the most human people you've come across in your life.
And because I'm the best reporter I know, I do think I go through all of this about as quickly as possible, to the extent that at a time where it would feel appropriate for the hug to stop, I'm good at reading folks after all, I begin to pull away, and with sort of like that reassuring, like half smile, like I still don't know what to say, but I'm here for you, sort of a look is over Jazz's face. And my good friend Khan, you weren't in the previous and the finale session, but I did throw this out there that this is how the events may play out in that session. So looking at you, sort of an awkward look of just like consoling on her face, you probably know Jazz well enough to understand that this is not like she feels like she has to do this because you might be sad, but just kind of a, no, this is probably precisely why she came over. Jazz goes, what are you doing for dinner tonight?
I've got no plans.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It's been pretty tough to cook with these recently, and I show off like they're calmed down. It doesn't look as though I have like a layer of anything on my hands. It's now very much just their normal shape, but they nevertheless are like stained as if they look fully painted over. These hurt a fair bit. And for the last couple of nights, I've just been, well, let's be forthright, drinking coffee. Perhaps we could go try out someplace over in, I don't know, any district. Let's get out away from home for a little bit. Maybe enjoy some time out together.
I'd like that. I'd love that. I'd love to see you drink something that isn't coffee.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Will you at least... I can't make you order a drink, but maybe not with dinner. I don't know if the taste would be great.
You see she like looks away from you, staring at the wall for probably like a good 5 to 10 seconds, and goes, if we go to the right place, I do believe I've heard of something called espresso martini.
We smash cut to which district would you like to go on a date at?
Where would Locke suggest we go?
Locke would think about it. Wait, do you ask Locke or does Jaz pick somewhere? Because
If Jaz doesn't have anything specific in mind, Keegan will be like, Uncle, where do we go?
what is it? And he goes, number one, extremely delighted at the question. Number two, you see him thinking. And you can see that thing where someone goes, they think of their first option and go, no. Second option, third option. And he suggests somewhere to you down in Hallow Harbor. So not super posh or anything like that. It's actually a seafood restaurant called the Harbor Place, but obviously place is spelt like the fish. And that's right near the harbor front, which you may want to sit on a cold winter's day, but has clear views of the shattered sea. And you can make your way there, and they do cocktails, they do very nice seafood, as you are right on the coastline, so everything is fresh and isn't too fancy to be intimidating.
I will wait. Oh God, I probably need a new.
What do you wear on your date, Keegan?
I want to say that my dress shirt from the ball was more ruined.
So, hey, let's put it out there right now. Those outfits, gone.
But the jacket was the whole thing?
Keegan, my man, you were in a knife fight, you got stabbed, you were blasted across the room, and then the building was on fire. It's ruined.
Oh, damn. That's a lot of blood into the fabric, too.
Actually, I will say, Jazz's dress survived. The suit did not.
Well, then I will... I was looking through some of the earlier Keegan drawings earlier today, and there was one where he had more of like a small trench coat looking thing, but like a nice gray overcoat, which is collecting mothballs has been collecting mothballs in his closet. But he is going through, running his hand over all of the gray shirts that he owns, and gets to that. So it's almost what you are familiar in his day-to-day wear, with the addition of a nicer overcoat, some old shoes from Uncle Lachlan that might have been for ceremonial stuff in the when he was in the periphery. So you can definitely tell he's still uncomfortable even dressing up this much, but it's kind of a halfway point. You knew he was uncomfortable in the ball attire, but he's very much like the hug. Seems like something he could get used to if this becomes a thing.
And for Jazz's part, that week was enumerative for her to sort of seek out what life would be like without the book, with unfortunately persistent pain going on in her manual, her hands, and moving about, just trying to burn away that chaos energy. There was a day where she sought to discern whether or not that Valentine expense account was still open at the tailor, and it was. But there are means by which you abuse resources accidentally made available to you, and means by which you only push them to the extent that they go unnoticed and potentially remain open. So it's her same usual overcoat, which would be absolutely necessary upon going down to Hallow Harbor. It has sort of the fur trim. It's bedraggled, beaten down. It was already secondhand when she got it many years ago and is patched together at present, but is well maintained enough so as to not be too jarring an outfit. Topper, for what you see below, is a pretty decent set of slacks. Nothing that would break the bank. her usual old boot shoes, sort of like a mid length, if you will, with a sensibly low heel because she's as functional as she is not fashionable generally. But it's a nice new dress shirt, no tie, and sort of like a pinstriped pattern vest as the mid layer, and nothing too flashy, like literally no embellishments, just new, which was important to her when she thought that she was going to be asking you to dinner, is that she presented herself nicely, and more importantly, knowing full well that so much change has come about that she wanted to be new to some degree in this moment.
It is the new year, after all, in New Fair. Celebrations that you missed for obvious reasons, but a new year nonetheless. Mid-January. As you make your way down to Hallow Harbor and the place. You're welcomed in. It's very smart casual. It's not fine dining. It's not a fish and chip shop. It's somewhere in the middle. And you're kind of dressed both appropriately for this place. Hallow Harbor's not one of the wealthier districts, but is known for its food. Seafood specifically, obviously.
I'm getting hungry.
Sorry.
Getting hungry.
And you see someone come and greet you at the place where you wait to be seated, and they go, "Oh, table for two this evening?"
Yes, please.
Yes.
A table, or we can, if there's room at the bar.
Oh no, we have tables.
Lovely. Yes, please, a table.
Excellent. We actually have some of our booths at the back available. It's a slower night tonight if you'd like to sit there. It's more romantic.
I think we both sort of go. Perhaps something in the middle. You know.
Of course. She realizes she's bungled and goes, "Oh, of course," and leads you to a table that's sort of more central in the restaurant. Yeah, and it's just a nice sort of cafe-style bistro table. White tablecloth, but again, nothing too fancy with like silver knives and forks. And she goes, "You'd like to..." Who let that dog in the restaurant? I told you to get it out. Apologies. That happens sometimes. They can smell the food and come in from the ships. And passes you both menus. He goes, "Yes, the daily special is the shattered sole." As in the fish, not like... She goes, "That sounded ominous. I mean, sole that is fished in the shattered sea nearby. And, is there anything I could get you both to drink?"
Literally any other food suggestion, but also, yes, do you do espresso martinis?
Oh, yes, they've actually become very popular. I think, what's that magician's name? Silas Cinder suggested it here once, and then it became a trend. But yes, everyone's been really enjoying them.
I've never heard of him.
And I'll have to thank him for that later.
She goes, "So 2 espresso martinis while you look at the menu." Again, the soul's the special, but everything else is there listed for you.
I'll give it a try.
Excellent. I'll be right back. And she leaves as you peruse the menu. There's a lot of fish puns. The Codfather is the name of the fish and chips.
Oh,
Yeah.
do I want... I'll get the shrimp scampi, or if they have like lobster.
They have lobster.
Crab legs? We want crab legs. What? No, we're not doing this. We're just gonna... What do you want?
See Keegan looking at the menu going, "Huh," and sort of like him panicking, you know, like when people hold a menu in front of them because they're like really studying it. And Jaz, you're just like, "Okay."
You know, if you're sort of torn between two things, I think it wouldn't be untoward for us to split. You get something, I get something.
That sounds great. And if you don't finish yours, I could eat it. I can eat enough
So
for
natural.
2. Oh, okay.
Yes. No.
Okay, so 2 espresso martinis, 1 for you and 1 for you. Ready to order?
I think we're ready.
Excellent. What
Yes.
can we get you today?
I mean, the Codfather actually sounds pretty nice. I haven't had sea fish in quite some time.
Just, she looks confused, like, just river fish?
You can tell I don't eat a lot of seafood.
One
Yes.
Codfather, yes, excellent. Would you like mushy peas with that, or would you like normal spring peas?
Frankly, I'm a bit curious about the mushy ones. Otherwise,
I
you wouldn't be offering them.
I promise they're good. They're like mashed and with mint and seasoned. They're really good. But I can always change it if you don't like it. And for you, sir, what would you like?
I'll have the surf and turf, and I would like the steak medium, please.
No problem, no problem.
And do you have like bread rolls?
Oh, absolutely, they're complimentary. I was just about to bring some after you ordered.
And I think that'll do us for now.
Excellent, no problem. And you see there's like a candle on the middle of the table, and she goes, sorry, one moment, like strikes a match, lights the candle, and you see the lights dim a little bit in the restaurant because it's like getting to evening time. And she goes, I will be right back. Please enjoy your martinis and let me know if there's anything else you need. Goes off.
This lighting is actually more comfortable for my eyes.
I was gonna ask about that. Where are these new ones? And I sort of like hover my hands, which one thing I forgot to add about my description this evening is that having come out to meet you, I do have gloves. They're thin but functional. They're not fancy. I probably didn't pick them up at the tailor. But I just sort of like hover one hand near like the outer frame of your new glasses and say, Are these sort of helping with the dual tone vision you were telling me about?
A little bit. Yeah, the green eye is always just going to have a bit of a blur from the bleed, but it's not like there's bleed everywhere, so it's
Okay.
all right. Yeah, I can see, and that's sort of the important bit. Even if bright lights and
Well, the vast majority of our work, both in and out of the circle, does take us out in darker times. So hopefully, as you adjust, you'll figure it out a little bit. Figure it out quite nicely.
Warm bread rolls appear out of nowhere. Oh, popped on your table as she goes past you.
Take just an awkward moment or two, undoubtedly, to focus on choosing the right roll.
There's some sourdough, there's some seeded bread, there's a white roll, there's like a variety. But there is only one of each, so unless you want to split them, you'll have to fight over which ones you want. And obviously soft butter.
Locke was actually quite helpful in the time wherein I was awake prior to your own waking. In bringing by some documents he must have gotten from Cole, and the two of them working together, that might be interesting, because I know Artemis was always in contact with him, but that they didn't necessarily have regular dealings with one another. But Locke brought by some interesting reading. She won't be around to see the output of it, but Dr. Kim's friend, I believe she asked you for some help about that.
a little bit. I didn't really have time to focus on it over the past couple of days.
And she didn't ask me directly for assistance. And this entire time, by the way, I'm still like meticulously cutting a roll in half to slather on just a little bit of butter as I'm watching you just like try one of each, maybe a third of that one, etc. But
now, Jaz, I do need to ask a question as the storyteller.
Mhm.
Is Jaz nervous about being on this date with Keegan? Because she asked him out.
a little bit.
I need you to make a control roll, please.
Okay. I'm certain that stat has suffered
Just-
as a result of recent
Just for my
events.
players, this isn't dire consequences. This is for flavor text.
This is the highest stakes roll.
This is the highest stakes
Well-
scenario in the game.
In a few moments, the highest stake roll will be how well the surf and turf comes out. But
Oh,
Don't make me -1 from this. What did you get?
well, remember how I got a 6 earlier?
Did you get a 1?
I got the opposite of that.
Okay, so
Go
Jaz,
on.
you're saying Yeah, about these documents. And then you look up at Keegan. Keegan looks really good. Keegan looks... The new glasses, better than the old ones. He's got... Like, you've not seen this sort of smarter side to Keegan. He always usually wears his, like, the Steve Jobs of Candela, as we previously established, uniform that he always wears. And he looks really good. And as you're buttering the roll, you slip. The roll flies out of your hand and hits the waitress as she starts to walk across the restaurant. She goes, "What? Are you okay over there?"
Oh, fuck! I am so sorry. I'm adjusting to the gloves. I sincerely apologize. We're gonna have to
Absolutely, absolutely no problem. Let me know if you need any more rolls. And she sort of just like looks, just like, okay, and just like keeps going. Keegan obviously fully noticed this happen.
Your
whatever we were gonna tip her, and I insist that we split whatever happens later. But gonna have to increase it at least just a little bit as a result. That I don't know what happened there.
your disregard for the safety of the wait staff is a new side of you.
Keegan, because Jaz absolutely whiffed that and rolled a 1, I'll give you something. Jaz is looking at you a lot more than usual, and she's nervous.
Can I
Disregard per se. Yeah, go ahead.
can I make a read roll? Because obviously, like Keegan is maxed out in read, so he would know like why, but it's also Keegan. So
Yeah?
As you make that roll, I'm just gonna call out for the sake of anybody watching with us. I'm a reporter, so you would think I would be really good at read, and he's a detective, so you think he'd be really good at survey, and somehow
he like survey is fine. And now it's really the only other thing he can do. That was a 5.
Okay. What is it you want to catch the vibe of right now?
And Keegan is like, she asked him out. Patrick told him to ask her out, so that he's already not done. Well, maybe there'll be a second date, but like he picks up that the way she's looking at him is not the same like searching, inquisitive look that reporter Jaz looks at him with, and they're on a date. He likes her.
Okay, I'll ask Jaz. Jaz, because he got a mixed success, so don't give him everything, but like, can he read the vibe off of you that like you're into him? Like, if he asked you out again, you'd probably say yes.
the vibe that he's picking up on is that she's nervously bringing up topics that we would so easily be able to discuss, like at literally any other time of day and on any other day. But in the context of a date that you can tell she clearly wants to go well, she realized that she hasn't been on a date and Lord knows how long. And even though she initiated this and is happy to be here, she does not know how to comport herself. It's just like, don't let yourself seem boring. What seems interesting to him? Oh, yeah, an investigation. Like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a mixed success.
The reason it's a mixed success is because Jaz, you notice Keegan like staring at you as he's making this read, like almost in your eyes, like staring at you as he determines this vibe.
Are you nervous?
I'm so fucking nervous, aren't you?
I don't know if I really have room for anxiety right now, given everything that's happened. So, no, I feel pretty good, at least in this moment. You're alive. We're alive.
Okay, so 1 surf and turf, and then 1 Codfather fish and chips for you with mushy peas, right? How are the espresso martinis? Hey, we like being fast is good, I've heard. So, Yes, is everything okay for you? Would you like any more drinks? She notices you haven't really touched the martini. She's like, would you like something else?
No, we were just getting to the drinks. Um, Too busy with the bread to take a drink, but
Thank you for the offer. This is all very lovely. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry about the bread.
It won't be the last time someone probably throws a bread roll at me for various, and then she's like, God damn it, that dog's back in here again, and runs towards the seafood bar to protect the fresh fish that's sort of displayed there.
they really need to get a handle on their doors.
Yeah, you would think somebody in my position would have heard something about rampant dogs running wild in the city, but no. After that, sort of laughing with you for a moment, she goes, I am quite embarrassed about that. I suppose Butterfingers is a little bit too accurate in this moment. And like
Wow.
very sheepishly and awkwardly, like you see her nervously look to the candle and then strip off the gloves. And it's the normal size but stained fingers that I described previously. And I look at your eyes and then I look over to the glass and I like take a sip back and I go, fuck. This is already half a habit forming drink for me. I gotta be careful about this. Try yours. This is delightful.
I will raise up my glass and just kind of hold it out to her.
Clink.
Drink, and I will take a sip. And Keegan will be the one character I play who likes coffee. So,
Yeah, Keegan, the espresso martini hits. This is dangerous for you. You don't usually drink, and you and Jaz have just been in hospital. So if you guys drink more than one of these or drink this fast, you two are going to be drunk immediately on this date, unless you eat your food quickly.
this is alcoholic and caffeinated. I mean, maybe on the side I can learn how to make this. But and I'll take off my glasses fully if with the assumption that I was still wearing them.
Yeah.
And just I don't know how it feels for Jaz to be looking at heterochromia Keegan. And I mean without even in the dim lighting, he still kind of like blinks a little bit to get the eyes adjusted. No, you go first.
By the way, with the brief joking after the food arrives, after the waitress leaves, is already the start of Jaz seeming reassured simply at the notion that you aren't nervous. And people who probably are worse at reading people would stand a chance of reading that incorrectly, like, oh, so this isn't serious to you. But that's not what happened when you expressed the means by which you weren't feeling any anxiety. And she knows herself well enough that she wouldn't order a second martini, simply as a practical purpose, but is enjoying the drink, is enjoying your company, and personally sees your removal of the glasses, whether for other intentions entirely, as sort of like look, it's totally fine for you to take off the gloves. Look at what I'm doing, sort of a situation. And she hardly loses a smile going forward.
The food's really good, by the way. Keegan, you have like a whole lobster and like a fillet steak in front of you with fries and vegetables. And Jaz, you have a massive fish. You don't know what fish it is. It could be like a new fair specialty fish that you've not heard of, with chunky chips and mushy peas that are mixed with mint and black pepper. So good.
I would try those peas.
Very good.
I have a potato racer. I might try some stuff later. Yeah, I have to imagine that Jaz is having a pretty damn nice time, and at a certain point is either woefully impressed with just how much of that Keegan has eaten, or is watching as he realizes just how much food he has. But does bring up the notion that I do wonder if your eyes were a little bit bigger than your stomach, and just looks down at your plate and then looks down at mine. Like, You already have two full ass meals right there.
Yeah, the hospital food wasn't very filling.
I suppose I wouldn't know. I didn't avoid it so much. I had other things on my mind. And I kind of like indicate the now empty espresso martini, not in such a way that I'm hoping a waitress would see and be like on it, but more so that like I don't necessarily always have to bring up my coffee habit, but that was all consuming for me when I was not consuming it. Yeah. This I suppose then is a pretty good redemption for both of us. I spent a lot of time not eating the food that was given to me, and it seems as though yours was just a dissatisfactory experience. So sort of like still awkward because this is out of her depth, but also like now with a little bit more of a joking, I'm having a nice time way. Like I actually lift up the plate and say, "Cheers again."
Do
I
I
will-
make you roll in case food goes over it? No, I'll be nice. We won't do that.
Clink plates.
Keegan, do you finish your food? Do you finish all of it?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Yeah, as you see Keegan like Kirby just eat all this food and it's just in a more civilized manner, and it's just like, Jesus, okay.
And on the reverse side of that, I definitely reach about the halfway point and like am just politely making conversation and watching as you eat and trying to drive the convo so that you don't hurt yourself when you're horking down most of a lobster, a pretty good cut of steak, and some French fries and other fixings on the side. But it's definitely with the notion of somebody who's very practically minded, being like, "Oh, this is food for later," with the other half of my meal.
Waitress comes back over. She goes, "Are you finished here?"
For now I am, but I'd love to be able to take the rest of this home with me.
Of course, no problem. Would you both like a dessert menu? Another martini?
No other drinks, at least not for me, but I hadn't thought about dessert. I look over at Keegan and just kind of like, again, you just had 2 meals.
Well, we could at least look at the menu.
If you'd please, that'd be absolutely wonderful.
Immediately presents you a dessert menu that she was holding behind her back. Here you go. Thank you. I will. Would you guys want some water for the table, or maybe a coffee to go with dessert? We have really good coffee.
Both.
Both. Excellent. So espresso for you, or a different kind of coffee?
Perhaps not espresso actually, but just drip whatever you got in a pot. Don't necessarily need to be up for the next week. But yes, thank you. And this is a. Oh fuck me. I mean, I'm sorry. You have an espresso chocolate lava cake.
We do. Well, actually, that was another thing that came from the espresso martini. Is our chef wanted to try that? Yes, it's very good. I've had it myself, but I don't have it too much because it does keep me awake for a while.
Keegan, I don't mean to drive the experience by way of my personal needs. Is there anything else on here that looks good to you, or
Whatever you want for dessert.
okay? Decision made then. And do you have? I don't see it here, but can it be a la mode?
For Alex, what does that mean?
Ice cream on the side.
Oh, absolutely, of course, we have ice cream. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And as she inevitably walks away, okay, I understand you don't drink as much caffeine as I do. The ice cream can mostly be yours if you need.
Sure. I will eat what I can.
All right.
It doesn't take very. It doesn't take
for breakfast later. Yeah.
Doesn't take long for her to come back because it doesn't take long to bring dessert. She goes, dessert. There you go, a la mode. And I bought 2 spoons just in case. I didn't want to assume, but if you wanted to share, excellent. And then leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and your coffee as well.
Oh yeah, coffee goes first naturally. Barely touch the water. There's water in coffee.
That's not what I was about. I think, yeah, I'll try to formulate a way to bring this, to be the one to bring it up. As I'm saying this, but Keegan would like looking at the hands, looking at Jazz's hands, every once in a while, like as she's eating or lifting the glass, his eyes are drawn to her hands, and even know how to. I don't even know how in character Keegan would do this, because
Jazz,
he's
you notice Keegan, as you're sipping your coffee, looks uncomfy.
uh, is she like this is a weird way to ask this. Are like both of her hands working on the meal, or is she just have like one resting on the table, or
You can tell that off and on, while overall her comfort is increased and she's been able to settle into enjoying the evening, she's still like keeping fists clenched when needed, but arms out, trying to not seem like closed off, but certainly not wanting to be fully expressive with her body posture. Sort of like in relaxed and loping positions, like I sort of am on camera, and for as much as you can see. So that again, they're out, but they're draped below the table, behind the chair. But certainly when it comes to eating, like I keep close, but they're still out and being presented. And Jazz can, you know, she reads people. It's what she does for a living, and she can tell that you're sort of like looking at them and looking back at me. We make side conversations, undoubtedly about just about everything else. And Jazz is holding back for the moment, giving you an opportunity to decide if that's something that you want to broach.
I think Keegan takes like maybe a big bite of ice cream or something, and sets his spoon down, like sets the spoon down, and then there's clearly like a, okay, I gotta do this. Um, I just kind of so I know you met my mother.
It was quite the experience.
She's a real charmer, isn't she?
Um, that evening in particular, it's difficult to say whether she was really herself. I
Ooh.
fear my perception of her might be colored by the events happening at the moment.
Well, how's this? She tried to kill me right after I was born, so it's kind of just how she is. But I guess now we know that she maybe didn't like that there was something non human inhabiting her baby's body. Uh, I'm not saying it makes it okay, because I was going to be the victim of her infanticide, but I guess there is a little tiny, minuscule bit of understanding as far as why she reacted that way.
You know, so much was happening down there. And had the circumstances even been slightly different, I don't think Silas would have done what he did. It was just a means of helping to control the situation when it was clear that, unfortunately, some of us might not be making it out of there.
I, Chaz,
He,
I'm not mourning my mother. I'm
well,
not I'm not upset that Silas fried her.
I suppose what I was building up to be able to say is that there was so much happening, and I could be wrong in my assumption about what was going on in this respect in particular, but in addition to some of the other goals, it seemed as though something that she was doing directly with the painting, I am now looking at my hand, just trying to see. For weeks now, I've been looking for particular shapes and patterns, and a lot of it's just, it looks like very swirled together patterns and colors of paint, but it doesn't stop me from continuously looking. And now that we're talking about it, I'm staring back at my hands again. But I convey one of the main reasons I went directly for her is it seemed implied if she even vaguely succeeded in what she was up to, it would change you. Perhaps I'd be talking to Patrick right now, most likely not at a dinner, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
even the slightest chance that it would be you potentially going through some doorway. I knew that the moment I met her, unfortunately, there would never be any getting along with her.
Is there any like residual with my green eye? Is there like a bleed haze around Jazz's hands?
A slight one. Nothing that would trigger like a bleed detector or anything. It's minimal. But you see there's just a slight green tint to her hands when you look at it with your magic eye. And you see the splotches and patterns on her hands look like ink splotches. So nothing that would cause too much commotion if she were just to go out sans gloves. You also notice there are some things that look like brush strokes in there also.
And above table, player Sam is wondering, like, what all could be in that mix, because I didn't die. I didn't suffer egregious wounds, but not only did I steal, or seek to steal away from his mom a very bleed-intensive painting, but then I literally ripped apart a bleed-powered notebook. So it's like, yeah, which one did that? Like, obviously the appearance is the painting, but if I have residual, what have you going on? Was it that? Is there some essence of that ritual still in me, or is it like this dark deal driven book? So Sam Lopez is curious about that, which means Jazz undoubtedly has been thinking about it this entire time. But yeah, she sort of like looks away from her hands finally, like fist clenched, but not unlike my usual posture when I'm listening, is still out, still open, still visible. She looks to you and says, "It's pretty clear there's no love lost between the two of you. Some of the things you had indicated prior to the recent events and the reassurance you just provided now, but Keegan, you've lost so much recently. Nobody would blame you for feeling a little bad about that."
Oh, I did want to ask this. What does it feel like when Keegan cries? Because of the eye scarring.
It stings a bit. And it's harder for him to hide when he's crying because the scars glow a little bit around his eyes. Again, nothing crazy that would set a bleed detector off, probably, but just a residual effect.
Then I think in the dim lighting of the restaurant, you just see like a faint that faint glow, which, I mean, you saw him get a little bit upset, like 2 weeks ago after the hospital. So I think you can kind of tell that that's what's happening. But Khan needs to still be able to communicate, so we're not going full method. It's not really fair, I guess. It's kind of what Patrick said when we were talking about how I kind of jumped into this body before he could, and now instead of me going back to the other side, he left instead to let me sort of have a life without him. But it's quiet. I don't have to feel bad about not visiting my mother at the sanatorium anymore, though none of those visits ever go well. Dr. Kim, the last thing I remember was protecting her from somebody that tried to kill her, and then when I woke up, she's gone. So And Mason, he
Part of me
was,
still thinks he might be down there, even though it's not practical. None of us ever thought he'd go down.
I keep, sometimes if I'm in a room thinking, I turn around expecting to see Patrick to get his opinion, or to see Mason standing there leaning against the wall, one foot cocked up, to more talk at him than really get his opinion. um,
Sounds right.
I mean, Dr. Kim, and Victor's, we know where Victor is, but, he's withdrawn. And then Silas is doing what Silas does. So, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I've lost a lot. But, and he just, the glow probably gets a little bit brighter, and he just kind of wipes at his eyes a little bit.
And I reach across the table and I don't make contact, not without asking, but I wipe what in my mind is something of like a faded iridescent tear off the table with my own like spattered and splotched fingers, and I say, it's certainly not the same. None of us in the circle had that kind of relationship with one another, like a true familial one, but those of us who are still around, we can help make sure that it's not super quiet for you. We we have this in common.
I'd like that. And I'd like to go to one of Silas's shows if he keeps doing his magic.
As politely as possible, I've avoided those for so long. I don't know if I could take seriously watching him do a show and then talking to the first woman who comes up to him thereafter, but
Well, then you could go and make sure that he doesn't get to talk to a woman after the show.
oh, that's not what I'm saying. I think I'd be happy to do one of those with you, just for the sake of regrowing some group cohesion, but also, doing what I can to keep being there for you. This is nice. I hazard to say I'd like to make a habit of it.
Well, Miss Keebler, I'd be happy to take you out again if you'll let me.
Be very happy to make that an exclusive for you.
You see the waitress that's interrupted every important moment so far has read the room this time and is standing back and looks round as if to go and goes, everything working out for you food-wise?
Everything is working out, I think.
The speed with which Keegan ate his regular meal is the rate with which I devoured the cake, and I didn't touch a single scoop of the ice cream. But I imagine the plate is clear, and I look to her, undoubtedly not to break the dramatic tension of the moment, but with a little bit of like copulated chocolate here and there. Just everything's going very swimmingly. Thank you for checking in with us.
Incredible. I'm glad. Would you like the bill? Oh, and your rest of your meal to go, ma'am.
I could box it up as long as you were to bring over a container. But I sort of look over at Keegan, think we could potentially move on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll take our leave here. But There might be a nice coffee shop we can stop at before going home.
Check as quickly as possible, please.
Already there. Already there. She goes, if there's a coffee shop along there, the walk from there along the harbour's edge is beautiful this time of night.
We'll be sure to take it in and not focus on the destination.
Bingo.
Excellent. Thank you for dining with us. We hope you come back again soon. And she looks at the door and you see a dog's head poking. It's one of those push doors. You see a dog's head poking through and she goes, have a wonderful evening.
You
too?
Ooh. Thank you. A very important question for you. If this consummate customer service professional insisted on boxing up the food herself instead of me doing it, is it in a box or do I have a very small foil like swan situation?
It's actually like fish and chips. When you get it takeout, is wrapped in newspaper, but it's wrapped very well, so nothing is leaking out.
Okay. Well, I'm in my tattered yet clean and functional coat. That goes right in a pocket.
Oh, she gives it to you in a bag. Like it's in a bag wrapped up, but if you want to put it in your pocket, that's also fine.
It's half a meal. It's precisely what Jaz would do. So yeah.
Okay. You exit. You see a very cute black and brown dog waiting outside, just like it smells of fish.
I turn around. The door is shut, and I look about. Is there anybody like in our immediate surroundings besides Keegan, myself, and this dog? Like immediate surroundings.
I mean, no, unless you want to do a survey about it to make sure.
I'm fine.
No.
I sort of look down at the dog and I like half kneel so that I can just like offer the back of my hand to see just how friendly the dog is.
Wants pets.
And yeah, with the other hand, like I go for that sort of like I'm gonna cup the cheek but far away from your mouth, sort of an initiation scratch for dogs. And assuming that goes well, speaking to Keegan without turning or looking, just maintaining sort of like looking at but not directly in the eyes of the dog, I say, what are the odds we found a new case here? This is wild behavior for dogs in the area, to have potentially even developed something of a grudge with a business person.
Well, take the lead, Miss Keebler. The game is afoot.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have a dog now. Is there any collar, any signs of ownership? I'm just gonna like, I sincerely don't mean to upend the evening. A coffee shop would still be phenomenal, but you see me pull the belt off of my outfit. I'm just kind of like, this dog warrants investigation, if nothing else. I'm not looking for the evening to end or to change our plans, but would you mind if we, invited a tag along at least for the next couple of blocks? See how this goes.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, not to upend what's going on if this was sincerely just to me a throwaway, but I think Jaz is a dog now.
Do you want to roll a control rolls to try and put a lead on the dog?
Fuck me, yes I do.
Or a sway or a control, because you're even persuading the dog.
I could do a control if you want.
Keegan, you can lend one of your dice. You can lend one of your dice or drives if you want to Jaz to help.
I'll take a help.
Sure, I will help.
Okay. So I was wrong. Sway used to be better for me. At present, control is better. So I will gladly take that assist. Fingers crossed.
Roll to pet that dog.
Oh, on the table. Double ones.
Oh!
Oh no.
The dog's... Okay, so lovely German Shepherd, dark fur. Very excited to see you. You lean down to try and kind of leash the dog, and as soon as you do, the German Shepherd goes, "Rup," bites out the inside pocket of your coat and runs away with your fish and chips.
That cheeky bugger. I gotta be honest, I'm not even mad. seems all too natural for what might have happened. I should have expected as much. I turn around. Is the astute and somehow possibly bleed related ever present waitress like looking upon the situation with sort of like a "I told you" expression on her face, or I don't know.
You see her with double ones. You see her look at like she's serving another table, but like catches this interaction and just it has that look of like, eee.
Mm-hmm. I give a friendly wave and say, "Okay, back on track then, I suppose. Walking along the harbor sounds absolutely wonderful."
After the best double one roll that's ever happened, because Jazz so wanted to have a dog, and I was gonna give one to you, and then no. The scene. It's a chilly night next to the harbor, partially frozen where it has gotten so cold now the temperature has dropped down in the evening, and you have to like sort of maybe put your gloves back on and huddle your coats closer to you. But along Hallow Harbor, there are some very nice sort of fairy style lights that are in place of normal street lamps. You see the street lamps have been turned down very low, the sort of normal gas ones that would be on flame, and it's a very nice illuminated walk, and it starts lightly snowing as you walk to your next destination.
I lean closer to Keegan. I'm not sure what exactly we're talking about. It's probably now that we're on foot and we're out of rhythm of having a pleasant time at the restaurant. I'm probably bouncing between like normal date conversation, but also shop talk. But I'm doing so whilst hands back in pockets for warmth, gloves are on, coat is tucked tight around me, but I'm leaning against him, assuming he doesn't pull away as we walk.
No, it's cold. Why would I pull away?
Mhm.
And I think tentatively, maybe at a point where even he does not notice he does it, we'll put an arm around your shoulders just to make sure that we don't fall, obviously. And for Keegan, what we're talking about doesn't really matter. He's happy that he isn't the last one standing, and he's happy that there is someone by his side right now.
And I think one of the things in the back of Jazz's mind is it wasn't asked for, but sort of a certain degree of personally applied pressure to keep the conversation going, not out of wanting to ensure that the date stays nice, that like your interest doesn't wane, nothing of that nature in the slightest, but she's now experimenting with the personally applied duty of help it feel like you're not alone, and knows full well that just by walking with you, that's already being accomplished. But her jammering and chattering away has everything to do with just like, let it be kind of annoying as well. That's memorable. I believe that's what Patrick did for him.
You get close to the destination on your nice walk.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I denied an additional espresso a little bit earlier, caffeine content doesn't really keep me awake at this point. It's more out of habit than anything else. I would love another cup to be holding, especially with the coldness around us. Having the heat in my hands would be lovely. Are you coming in? I could go, or we can stay in here for a little bit.
We can sit down. No,
Sure.
no use walking through the cold if there's a warm place to be.
And is there sit down room at this cafe? It's presumably later at night. I would assume so.
Yeah, there's definitely still room. You see, they're probably closing up in the next half an hour or so, so it's like people are starting to filter out, but there's definitely a place.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Order a cup. Nothing fancy, never has been, never will be. But here we are.
He's just here.
We're having a lovely time.
We're having a lovely time. It's a good date. We don't have to roll for that.
It's a good date. The storyteller just wanted to make sure that two people who have gone through horrific things together and apart and linked forever continue to live and have a nice part of life together. However, Keegan, I need one more sense roll from you.
Sense. Okay. One.
You're there. It's lovely. This has gone basically perfectly. And you start hearing radio static. And your eye starts to focus. You can still see Jaz, but it's almost like you're in two places at once as you're seeing something else in the other one. You see fire. A flash of a sword. Screaming. Melting snow. And the person that you saw earlier in the cardigan look directly at you and go, "Not yet, but soon." And that's where we'll end this session today.
Not foreshadowing.
Ooh.
Ooh.